In this episode, I talk to you about the difference between regional and Metro Victoria during COVID-19 lockdowns. Hello and welcome back to Real Estate TV. It is the first time I've done one of these in a while now. It's been ages. I actually reckon it's been a year now since I've done one of these. But we're back. And in today's episode, I am talking to you about the difference between metropolitan and regional real estate markets during COVID-19 lockdowns. This is a question I get asked pretty frequently. And the question is usually something along the lines of, during the lockdowns, which is the better investment? I'm buying my first home, or I'm buying an investment, or I'm looking for a development site. Where should I be looking? Now, it's a really, really interesting one to answer because it's easy to answer in the short term, and really hard to answer in the long term, obviously because I don't have a crystal ball. So there's a couple of schools of thought. I'll start with in the short term. In the short term, regional real estate markets are booming. If you take something like San Remo, for example, I know that land was sitting at about $250,000 for something like a 500 or 600 square metre block 3 years ago. Now, that same block of land is worth anywhere from $500,000 to $600,000 right now. So it's doubled in price. And the only explanation for that growth can be the COVID-19 lockdowns. People are trying to escape to more picturesque locations. Seaside regional areas are specifically doing really well. Areas like Lakes Entrance, San Remo. I understand that Mornington isn't regional, but that is also booming. Because it's beautiful. I mean, if you're locked down and you have to stick within a 5-kilometre radius, wouldn't it be nice if your 5K range included a beach or a really, really nice cafe, as opposed to being inland and really, really far away from everything? So that explains that. It's actually a pretty simple one in the short term to explain. Now, if we look at the long term, the only expertise I can really reference in the long term is conversations I've had with developers. So half of the developers at the moment are really, really bullish on regional projects. So they're quite excited about the idea of getting into a regional project for the long term and doing a development. Regional projects have a couple of issues with them in the sense that their IRR is a little bit more challenging, so their internal return, which means every year how much cash does it yield? That is because regional projects sell slower, typically, is a bit of a risk, but developers are still willing to take on that risk because some developers see regional markets booming. However, there is a whole other camp of property developers who aren't so bullish on regional projects, and the reason I'm telling you this is because, well, their job is to try and pick the real estate market and buy a development. It's a really, really good indicator of where the market's going to go. So yeah, the other side of the coin that these other developers are trying to consider is, well, when we come out of all these lockdowns in however long you say it is, whether it's a year or whether it's 3 years or whatever it is, will the regional appeal die out? There's a couple of factors working against that. I would say the fact that a lot of people can now telecommute. We've now been telecommuting to Zoom meetings and stuff like that for 18 months. Yeah, 18 months now, because it was Feb. And we're now August, September. Yeah. So, yeah, people have been telecommuting now for 18 months. That's a real habit. Businesses have changed now. As a result of that. I mean, I know the property industry's changed. A lot of people are quite comfortable doing deals on Zoom and buying a house unseen now, just using FaceTime or Zoom to see the property. If you pulled something like that 3 years ago, you'd be laughed out of the room. Not a chance you would be able to do hold up a phone and walk around. So that industry's changed already. And personally, I think it's a change for the better. I mean, the technology was there. It was just a slow adoption rate. So it's cool to see stuff like that being adopted. But I think, personally, I am very interested in regional areas at the moment. Our business is taking a shift towards finding regional subdivisions. I don't think when we come out of these lockdowns, the demand will dry up. It might mildly fluctuate. But I mean, like I just said, people can now work from home. Actually, I'm selling a property for a guy right now who's planning on moving to the Mornington Peninsula, which is an hour and a half from where he works, purely because he's quite cool to telecommute and he knows he'll be able to telecommute post-lockdown, post-COVID. So that's a huge factor. I think regional areas are very interesting. Would I spend cash on a regional area to actually buy a property? Would I put my money where my mouth is? I think so. I think if the opportunity was good enough, I'm quite interested in the idea of holding, and I would like to see if there are any other perks to that specific property. So maybe it's in an area with a high rental yield, which means you get a lot of rental income as opposed to what the property price is worth, and it might positively cash flow, a lot of regional areas have always been like that. I know Terrelgan was always a really good spot to buy in because of that positive cash flow. I believe Armstrong Creek was as well, which is just out of Geelong, from memory. I could be wrong on that one though. But there's a lot of these areas that are that do have high yield. So I would be interested in looking for something like that, and something like, I've always been quite interested in Lakes Entrance purely because historically that has been a terrible market, but it's so beautiful, and properties are starting to sell significantly quicker. The sort of days are gone of 250 days on market now for Lakes Entrance, and it's coming more towards that 5-6 days on market, which is very interesting. When properties fly out the door, prices go up. So that's definitely a point of interest for me. The only drawback with something like Lakes Entrance is it's very, very far away from everything. I mean, we're talking like it's 3.5 hours from Melbourne, which is significant. I sold a site in Lakes Entrance with plans for 56 lots. Is a great site, but the concern was always, it's so far away, which is fair enough, definitely fair enough. However, I know that the prices are going up there. So that's very interesting. Yeah, but I would be looking for something with a bit of arbitrage, so something a little bit unique, something that not everyone knows about yet. I wouldn't be looking somewhere like San Remo where everyone knows, because I would be concerned that I'm already overpaying. I like to underpay when I buy stuff. Makes me feel nice and warm and fuzzy inside. And it also means, if you're underpaying, it means the day you buy the property's already gone up in value. So you've already won, which is kind of what you want. Yeah, I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching. It's been good to be back. First one in. I'll film. I say we. I'm the only one in this room. It's because I'm used to doing Explained by Gravitas, our other show that I've been focusing on our business YouTube, and I do that with Josh, my business partner. So now I'm used to saying we all the time. So if you catch me doing it, you can comment down below and hang shit on me. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comment down below. You're more than welcome to reach out to me however you desire. And please smash that subscribe button as well, because I want to be able to hand deliver these to you as they come out, which is, you don't want to miss out, do you? This has been scintillating viewing for you. Thank you so much. Take care. See you. Bye.